Please take off your mask when you leave. Yeah, when you go up to the podium, take off. Go on, you go do your part. Take your mask off. Thank you. It was just the funky with whole hand or whole wrist level of the That's a lot. Oh my goodness. And great to you.
Rebecca.
This Thursday is the
You'll read first, and then do the light, and then do the blessing. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to begin on the little daf, the little sheet of paper. It says Bruchot Habaot. And I thought that this was an appropriate way to begin our Sisterhood Shabbat. It's this piece by Debbie Friedman. It's a little bit of a different take on the traditional words of welcome we offer at different, typically life cycle moments. Bruchim Habaim or Baruch Haba. She changed it to Bruchot Habaot, which is the feminine version of the Hebrew, and also invokes the idea of Shekhinah, which is the feminine idea of God in Judaism. Bruchot Habaot, tachat kanfei ha-Shekhinah, Bruchim Habayim, tachat kanfei ha-Shekhinah. May you be blessed beneath the wings of Shekhinah. Be blessed with love, be blessed with peace. Bruchot Habaot, tachat kanfei ha-Shekhinah. Bruchim Habayim, tachat kanfei ha-Shekhinah. May we be blessed. May we be blessed beneath the wings of Shekhinah. Be blessed with love, be blessed with peace. May we be blessed beneath the wings of Shekhinah. Be blessed with love, be blessed with peace. So Bruchot Habaot, Bruchim Habayim, welcome, welcome, and Shabbat Shalom again. I am so excited for this Sisterhood Shabbat this evening, and to lead the service alongside some really incredible women of our sisterhood tonight. And to get us started, I'd like to invite up the immediate past president with immediacy, Bev Mendel, to lead us in a sisterhood poem.
So one good thing about reading something is I can take this off. This poem comes from this beautiful book Joy and I received about, 2 weeks ago. Women of Reformed Judaism had a area event here over the weekend, and to thank us for opening up our temple to them, they gave us this beautiful book called Covenant of the Generations. And so it's all these collections of like poems and readings from the women of Reformed Judaism. So this one is called Being Part of a Sacred Community. Being part of this special sacred group of women allows me to share ideas that sustain and promote the ideals of sisterhood in the midst of women in my community. I feel proud, I am blessed, I am a better woman because of these women who are my friends. I have an opportunity to encourage others to be the best they can be as our greater group builds connections. I feel the strength and bonds of women that link me to the generations before and yet to be. I feel at one with our matriarchs. Sisterhood gives me a sense of continuity to all sisters who have led me to this place in this time. I am fortunate to call these women sisters. I am in awe of their commitment. I am grateful for the sense of family, Jewish family. This special sacred group of women teaches me about myself. They inspire me to be the best I can be. Together, we build mitzvah and memory and the future.
Bev. We'll continue in our Siddur on page 15 with another text that we do every week at Shabbat, but that also has a feminine energy, if you will. This text, Lecha Dodi, about welcoming Shabbat, but it's like welcoming the Shabbat bride. First to 19 as I invite up our current Sisterhood President, Joy Powell, to light the candles this evening.
In every beginning there is darkness. The darkness of chaos seems eternal. Yet form emerges, light dawns, and life is born. In the beginning the Most High made heaven and earth. In every beginning there is darkness. The darkness of ignorance, which smothers human dignity. The darkness of fear, which chokes the creative will. The darkness of tyranny, which stifles freedom.
The Most High said, "Let there be light."
The Sabbath candles celebrate the divine power that makes for life and light.
Things they don't teach you in cantorial school.
I was going to say it's a trick candle.
Okay, from years of sitting in the front row, let me know. Okay.
This is a sisterhood. Let me just say that.
That's it.
Can't do it alone.
50% there.
The wick is a little waxy. There we go. This is the Marx Brothers routine of candle lighting.
Yeah, you have to snuff it.
Thank you, Ellen. Judy.
Oh,
Judy, over the service.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed is the eternal power that inspires our people to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Blessed is the source of life and light. Blessed with the light of dignity, creation, and freedom. May you be blessed with life of joy, love, and peace.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat is a day of freedom and peace, a celebration of life and creation. May it open our eyes to the goodness we've attained and our hearts to the goodness we may yet achieve. Let moments of holiness enter the world, uniting matter and spirit in the joy of wholeness as we welcome Shabbat, the day of days. Oh, there's more.
On top of 21.
Now Shabbat is with us. Now we reach out for the divine in ourselves and in the world.
In freedom, each of us seeks the Sabbath of the soul.
Here, time and place invite our commitment to the ancient purposes that are our present hopes. Now, time and place are one, bringing promise of triumph over anguish and despair. And when we have gone from this place onto our separate ways, may our words and promises bring fulfillment and peace.
May our words and promises become peace, bringing fulfillment and peace.
In this sanctuary, we seek to free ourselves from the fear and conflicts that estrange us from one another.
May our words and thoughts give us hope and strength.
We therefore acclaim the eternal power in the universe that helps us to grow in understanding and love and leads us to freedom.
Page 23.
Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips the blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be as the one before, lest routine set my ways.
Rise on the next page for Bar Fu.
ברוך אתה אדוני,
אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
I've got the clergy well trained. We join together in the V'ahavta on page 30. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech ub'shochbecha ub'kumecha ub'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha ub'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני Adonai Elohechem. Together, you shall love the eternal your God with all your mind, with all your strength, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I, the Eternal, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God.
We worship the power that unites all the universe into one great harmony. That oneness, however, is not yet. We see imperfection, disorder, and evil all about us, but before our eyes is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. These too we have known in some measure. There is evil enough to break the heart, good enough to exalt the soul. Our people has experienced untold suffering, wondrous redemptions. We await a redemption more lasting and more splendid than any in the past. When will redemption come?
When we master the violence that fills our world.
When we look upon others as we would have them look upon us.
When we grant every person the right to think for ourselves.
Once we were in bondage, then we were free. In this first liberation, our people saw revealed the power of the Most High. They perceived that God's presence redeems time and event from the hands of tyrants. We too acclaim the power that makes for freedom. We sing the song that celebrates our deliverance from Egypt and all bondage.
continue now on page 36. As we rise for the Amidah. Page 40.
The holiness of this day is not for this day alone. We must make it overflow into all our minutes, to hollow our weekdays from the sacred moments, hour by hour, to make the world a sanctuary where every human soul may be at home. Oh may the awe we feel at all times at the miracle of one another united in prayer be with us tomorrow. Keep tenderness in our words, our touch, and our look. Praise be the world and the power within it that makes for holiness.
Please be seated.
Page 45 is fine. We live in two worlds, the one that is and the one that might be. Nothing is ordained for us, neither delight nor defeat, neither peace nor war. Life flows and we must freely choose. We can, if we will, change the world that is into the world that may come to be, as we are taught from old. Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from deceitful speech.
Depart from evil, do good, seek peace and pursue it.
Be of the disciples of Aaron, loving peace and pursuing it.
Loving all human beings and bringing them to the Torah.
The whole Torah exists only to bring peace, as it is written.
Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are of peace.
Let justice dwell in the wilderness, righteousness in the fruitful fields.
For righteousness shall lead to peace, it shall bring quietness and confidence forever.
Then all shall sit under their vines and under their fig trees.
And none shall make them afraid. We'll take a few moments now to consider that sense of peace maybe particularly a sense of Shabbat peace, and any peace that you need for yourself in this moment in time, this week, today, this Shabbat. Take a few moments of silent reflection. Turn now to page 101. As we think of those in our lives who are in need of a sense of shalom, of peace, shalem, wholeness, we bring to mind those who are in need of healing, whether in mind, body, or spirit this evening. Sally Amarendries, Hannah Bat Miriam, Eliana Bat Hannah, Bob Bell, Robert Berg, Mort Berlant, Dr. Arnold Berliner, Sandy Beinstock, Barry Brown, Rich Burns, Melissa Champer, Chu Chi, Talia Sorowski, Deanna Courtright, Bunny Fisher, Ness Fistrom, Ruth Fox, Carolyn Franklin, Bruce Frambach, Holly Fugit, Marcia Geezer, Marina Gaffney, Sharon Jenkin, Charlene Griffin, Ted Guglin, Jack Half, Oliva Hand, Linda Harris, Dr. Gary Height, Jesse Jessen, Jennifer Johnson, Mimi Jones, Rosie Gurman, Jane Kalk, Sylvia Karp, Melissa Katz, Evelyn Katz McCosker, Shirley Lerner, Carol Lesage, Letia Leos, Bobby Lotman, Emmett Lowry, Austin Lucero, Janice Lucero, Gerald Maddox, Ariana Madison, Harlan Madison, Stephen Mauseri, Rich McCarthy, Neil McElwee, Beverly Meter, Vivian Cooper Moore, Gunther Myberg, Lawrence Neal, Barbara Wanamaker Neiman, Brad Parkins, Gabrielle Pollock, Heidi Preston, Stephanie Rasmussen, Linda Rogers, Gordon Robinson, Laura Danoff Robinson, Shalia Rosenbaum, Devon Ross, Patricia A. Rosie, Daryl Sanchez, Laura Sanders, Malachi Saracen, Janice Schmitz, Judith Schwartz, Randall Shev, Sally Siegel, Jojo Silver, Harrison Silverman and their baby, Shirley Silverman, Jonathan Stern, Eileen Sweet, Donna Thyman, Pham Thai Trang, Gina Thrower, Kara Thayer, Steve Umecki, Irma Guzman Wagner, Teresa Walsh, Jean Watson, Marty Weisberg, David Wiesner, Joel Wiesner, Shirley Wiesner, Nancy Wiesenfeld, Trent White, Kevin Wilburn, Bridget Wilson, Sue Winton, Sherman Wong, Yaakov Ben Ada, Brandon Yarkin, and everyone who is suffering from coronavirus. If there's anyone else who is on your mind this evening who is in need of healing, I'll invite you to please raise your hand and mention their name. We hold all of them in our hearts this evening as we join together in words of Misha Berach L'Choli. 101. Misha to invite up Melanie Pearson, who is going to share some words of Torah with us this evening.
This week's Parsha is Parsha Pinchas, which starts as a continuation of a story in which the priest, Pinchas, kills a highly placed Jewish official and a Midianite woman who were performing a public act of forbidden intimacy at a time when many Jews were being seduced by Midianites and led to worship their foreign gods. God says to Moses, so Pinchas basically spears them both while they're in the act, killing them. And after this, God says to Moses, the priest Pinchas turned my anger away from the sons of Israel by bringing my rights to bear in their midst. Therefore, I shall give him my covenants of peace and everlasting priesthood. So God is actually thanking Pinchas for this. So this act of zealotry, acting in God's stead to express the jealous God, is commended and rewarded. And while I personally, and especially in our present day, do not approve of individuals claiming to know the will of God when we do not have a prophet and leader the likes of Moses, in this case, the praise is due to Pinchas acting in a manner that is not unlike one in which Moses acted once himself.
Here you have the idolaters with the Midianites bringing about God's anger in a case that might have brought the destruction of all Israel. And in this case, Pinchas basically punishes the one couple and not all Israelites. So God says he turned God's anger away from the sons of Israel. Moses, likewise, at Sinai with the golden calf, counseled God not to be angry with the Israelites, and he got angry, and we lost 2 tablets, and not the whole nation. So that is, in some commentaries I've seen, equated. So after, going on with the story, after the death of the idolatrous Israelites, God commanded Moses to perform a census in order that the land shall be apportioned as an inheritance according to the number of names. To the numerous you shall give a large inheritance, and to the few a small inheritance. By lot this land shall be divided, and it shall be received as a possession according to the names of the tribes of the fathers. Now during this counting and apportionment of the land, there were 5 daughters of Zelophehad who came near and placed themselves before Moses and Eleazar the priest and the entire community at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And they said, "Our father died in the wilderness. He was not among the company that banded together against God. He was not among Korach's allies, but he died because of his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father disappear from the midst of his family just because he did not have a son? Please give us possession too." So this request made by the daughters was because all through the journey in the wilderness, Israel was asked to look forward to the day when they would come into the land and inherit it, and the daughters wanted their family to be able to participate. But because their father had died without sons, their family would be left out and their father's name would be lost. Why, through no fault of his own, should their father be punished? They wanted to participate in God's mitzvah of inheritance in the land. A video commentary on this portion suggested that we should look at our prayers and requests of God in a manner such that we strive to live according to God's wishes. So it said that the daughter's request was, we want to participate fully. We want to do what God wants all families to do, but we are not allowed. Please allow this. And Moses took their request to God. God answered, their request is correct. Not only is the request correct for them, but we're going to change inheritance laws, and in the future, should a father die without sons, but with daughters, then the inheritance shall go with daughters, and it was written in perpetuity. God asked Moses next to go to the mountain of transitions to look upon the land of Israel, but know that he will be gathered unto his people, meaning die, before he can enter. Moses asks God to appoint a man over the community so that they should not be like sheep who have no shepherd. At which point God told Moses, "Take Joshua, son of Nun, a man to whom there is spirit, lean your hand upon him and present him to Eleazar the priest and to the entire community, and charge him before their eyes. You will thus place some of your prestige upon him so that the entire community and sons of Israel will obey him." Moses did with Joshua as God commanded. So another thread that runs through this parsha is the idea of legacy. The legacy of the daughters, the legacy of Moses passing on the leadership, and the leadership was not passed on to either of Moses' 2 sons, but instead to Joshua, who had served him during his leadership. But through this ritual of the placing of hands, that was a way for Moses to impart his legacy upon Joshua. And then finally, the parsha ends with a list of occasions for different offerings, among which are Passover, the Sabbath, the new moon, which is highly relevant to our sisterhood, as in that is the Rosh Chodesh, the Festival of Weeks, or Shavuot, and the Day of Atonement. And so to this day, we still perform heavy-duty rituals on those occasions. So that was this week's Parsha.
Really rich portion, and I think it just happened coincidentally that we had this narrative of the daughters of Zelophehad on this Sisterhood Shabbat. Though I think we should make it not a coincidence, maybe every year, if we can plan for that Shabbat. And if you're joining us for the retreat tomorrow morning, Sisterhood Retreat, we'll be delving into that part of the portion just a little bit more. It's really only about 10 or so verses, but I think it's so interesting and such an important portion in a particularly male-dominated text. So we'll see what some more men had to say about it, some of the commentators, but I think a really, really great portion for this week. Thank you again, Melanie. And with that, I'd like to invite up Bev one more time for some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Beverly Mendel, and on behalf of Temple Emanu-El's Board of Trustees, welcome to our Sisterhood Kabbalat Shabbat service led by Cantor Leah Shafritz and Sisterhood. After services, please join us for Kiddush, Hamotzi, and Oneg. Back there will be the food, so right here on the patio. Today's Oneg is sponsored by Sisterhood and by Faggy Rosen in memory of her mother, Sophie Van Rosen. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., Sisterhood will be enjoying a seaside retreat led by Cantor Shafritz. On Tuesday, join us for our weekly Zoom chat, this time with a mystery guest. The JFS Backpack Drive is now in full swing and in full need. They are in need of 3 times more items than in the past. Look for poster tags on the poster that doesn't make sense. For poster tag on the poster in the lobby or online, and help kids start school with everything they need. You can drop off items here at the JSV campus or make online purchases. Next week on July 23rd is our Havdalah event, and on Sunday, July 24th, another Great Sisterhood game night at 6 p.m. On August 5th, everyone is welcome to a delicious barbecue dinner after services. The event is free, but please register so we can give the caterer accurate numbers. We will also have 2 potluck dinners after services on July 29th and August 12th, so look for details online so we can enjoy more summer Shabbat dinners together. On August 21st at 7 p.m., the Nonfiction Book Club will be discussing The Hair with Amber Eyes by Edmund DeWall, so there is still time to read this award-winning memoir and join the discussion. Next Friday is our monthly Shabbat at Home service on Zoom at 6:30. Hope to see you virtually. Shabbat Shalom.
I was going to add as well that if you haven't been in our sanctuary in this past year, you might be wondering what it's looking like. And we also, in the last few weeks, have put up the new menorahs on the bima. So feel free during Oneg to take a wander in and just look around and take a gander. It looks really lovely. And with that, we'll turn to page 106 and rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'asikim lav yotzer breshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yoseh haaretz, u'moshav yeharo hashamayim mima'al, u'shkinat zot yomei v'enot
Bayom Hahu Yihye Adonai Echad Ushemo 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 Echad. Thoughts turn now to those who are no longer with us physically, but are so very much with us in our hearts. On this Shabbat, we are in the period of Shloshim, the 30 days of mourning, for Harvey Offenhartz, father of Lynn Offenhartz, Sylvia Lazarus, granddaughter of Jolene Edwards and mother of Joel Lazarus, Dr. Edward Kahn, husband of Margie Kahn. And I always forget to say this. It is our custom that if you hear the name of a loved one, you are invited to please rise. We're in the first year of mourning for James Atlas, Michael Barco, Henry Barsky, Brenda Bausch, David Berg, Denise Blue, Phyllis Bergman, Richard Buriesi, Esther Burton, Curtis Cage, Mary Cage, Ruth Kahn, Eldon Chernus, Alexander Cunningham, Norman Deshatsky, Rhoda Edwards, Carol Everett, Mervyn Feinstein, Alan Garshon, Lubov Gatsis, Richard Gersten, Cirillo Guerra, Estella Guerra, Phil Hammer, Judy Fisher Harrington, Laura Jacobson, Deborah Katzman, Bobby Lebo, Bernie Levine, Miriam Mickey Present Looper, Rita Lauren, Barry Miller, Richard Peterson, Len Pomerantz, Gladys Popolo, Colin Powell, Corinne Ravel-Retchen, Joe Russo, Jane Sargent, Arnold Shaffritz, William Shepard III, Jerry Turchin, Leanne Wanamaker, Reuben Wargon, Rabbi Martin S. Weiner, Lucy Young, and Laura Ziffer, and all those in this short amount of time who have been murdered by gun violence. We also remember those whose yahrzeits fall on this Shabbat. Stephen Asmussen, Carol Bitter, Irving Goodman Bob, Sidney Brash, Morris Berman, Harry Cohen, Siegfried Danziger, Dorothy Davis, Delwyn Edwards, Minnie Frederick, Nathan Epstein, Helen Gates, Bert Gates, John Grayson, Bernice Green, Peter Grunwald, Daniel Harris, Jacob Hubert, Evelyn G. Hubert, Evelyn Hutchins, Bertha Jacobs, Lawrence H. Candell, Max Kaufman, Rose Kaufman, Ethel Cohen Kipperman, Benjamin Crandell, Joseph Lerner, Anne Lewan, Gertrude K. Marcus, Isidore Marks, Rivka Berman Marshall Kovitz, Phyllis Matzner, Hannah Morris, Dorothy Mowry, Escher Pintoff, Eleanor Pollock, Richard Roker, Wayne Rose, Richard N. Sal, Karina Salzman, Walter Saltzman, Elizabeth Schneider, Helen Siegel, Morris Suntop, Hal Turkis, Sophie Van Rossum, Adelia Vinokovetsky, Joshua Weisenfeld, and Saul P. Willits. We rise and join those who are remembering their loved ones this evening, and turn to page 110 for Mourner's Kaddish, Kaddish Yatom. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'kol shvei v'imru amen. May the source of peace bring peace to all who are bereaved and comfort to all who mourn. And together we say once more, Amen. Please be seated. We'll continue with those same words of peace we just spoke on page 113 to conclude this evening. It was a really wonderful Shabbat. I thank the Sisterhood, everyone who participated this evening. It was really wonderful to lead with you tonight. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat shalom. You will return your sidurim where you picked them up, and we'll join over at the tables for Kiddush and Motzi and Oneg.
Shabbat shalom. I'm doing all right. Hanging in there. For yourself.